Alright, what's going on guys, and welcome to the video. So we're looking at the Mod 1, T54 Mod 1 first prototype, and I recently got this tank probably a couple months ago. It's not a new tank by any means, but it's new to me, and I went with a T103 a while back. I don't know why. I like to, my premium, sometimes I like to get different tanks like TDs and maybe even a heavy or something like that. I like to play different stuff. Because I play a lot of light tanks and a lot of, I would even say mediums. Like I majorly play light tanks, right? But even so, this thing can kind of play like an LT432 or a T54 lightweight. So in that sense, it still kind of has a similar play style in my eyes. It's a medium, and it plays slightly different, but you can still play hold down like an LT432 or a T54 lightweight, and it's still Russian, and it kind of just feels like almost like a tier 8 glorified T54 lightweight, right? So it's not that much different for me. So I think that's why I went with the T103. The T103 is just a glorified SU100Y at tier 8, and much different. Anyway, we're gonna be here on Cliff, and this is gonna be, I'm gonna be doing two videos. This is gonna be a double feature with the T54, and it's gonna be a double mastery as well. And the first one's gonna be on Cliff, and as you can see, this is a 6-7-8 game, which makes the T54 Mod 1 extremely powerful in the right hands when it is bottom tier. Now, being that Battle Pass is out right now, I've gotten into some games that have literally been 15-0, 15-2, and this is common, but I'm telling you, in Battle Pass, for some reason, during Holiday Hops and during Battle Pass, when they at least initially release Battle Pass, the games are so unbalanced. I can't tell you, I've literally been in games that I've done, maybe I've gotten 2 shots off and the game is over. Either way, right? Like sometimes I'm winning by that much, and sometimes I'm losing. In this tank, it was usually a loss for whatever reason. My win rate was like 40% in this thing for quite some time. It's starting to balance out now, and this is what I always tell people: just even if you have bad games, it all balances out in the end pretty much as you continue to play the tank, and the more battles you have in it, the less that a bad game will impact your score. But the point is that it's very difficult to mark a tank or to even play a tank well and enjoy it if you're getting into these games that are over in 3 minutes. These two particular games were some of the only games that I actually played where RNG worked in my favor, but also the game wasn't 3 minutes long, and sure enough, they're both masteries, right? That's just how powerful this tank is, but also how decent I think I am in the tank, right? Like, you could say what you want about the teams being garbage, but when I actually get into a game that lasts 10 minutes and I'm able to use the DPM of the gun and use the turret armor and all this stuff over time, I'm able to get these masteries and build up a lot of damage in the game, and I feel like anybody else could do the same, right? This is a very powerful tank in a lower tier game like this, and in the right hands, and in a situation like this on Cliff, where the team basically leaves the 0 line open. Well, this is you're free to go here. I mean, you have this rock right here, you have a bush, and we smack the IS, you're hull down. I mean, and this is just a monstrous strategy to I think to use on Cliff in this tank is to just push this line, and if you run it the way I run it, you would have done the same here and spot all 3 arties. They're just sitting out in the open here. I'm trying to take a shot at all of them to basically maximize my damage and hope someone cleans them up in the meantime. I do miss the arty here. Was a little bit behind him, but yeah, I mean, this everything just worked out in this game and in the following one. And when you play a game or games where you're only doing a couple shots of damage each time you get into them, and you're down 6,000-7,000 HP in the first minute and a half of the game, and your team is camping, or they left an entire side of the map wide open, and you got to deal with this all the time. It's just so nice to finally get into a game like this where you can use the gun, like I said, use the DPM, use the armor, and just kind of do everything right, and it all works out. So that's why I want to bring you these two games, just so you can see what this thing is capable of. But I emphasize, don't be discouraged if you have games like me where you're doing 700, 800 damage and then you're getting freaking rammed by 4 enemies because the game is already over. You know what I mean? So Lova is here, and I'm smacking him in the side plate. We're at 2,500 damage. The FV is pushing up here. I'm trying to get a shot into this guy. It's not so easy. And in this situation, guys, we have an even here. We have FV, we have Lova, Dicker, T55. ISU is back here. I know that he's probably going to die. And I have an IS3 and a Super Hellcat on the cap. Now, this game comes down to the wire, and I'm going to show you that. It literally comes down to one shot at the end. I'm not going to spoil it, which way it went yet. You will see. But this game is extremely, extremely close, and now we're in the crunch time kind of where I want to start explaining my plays, explaining, you know, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And in this situation, I'm staying right here. Now, the Artie is back with me. Yes, you can say that I'm kind of in the back here, but I'm full HP, I'm top tier, and at this point I need to do two things: start to carry, but also conserve my HP to the best of my ability. Because it's, you know, like look at the HP, plus 131. It's even, and we at this point, right? I just feel like with the Hellcat being basically a one shot, the IS3 is not in the greatest of areas. I feel like I'm gonna have to carry this. They have a Lova, and they have an FV4202, and they also have an even 90 poking around. And it's just, even though the score and the HP is fairly even, I feel like we are not in good hands here because we don't have a decent amount of the map. I could try and do something like this, but I feel like it would just take too long, and they're pushing the cap, so that's why I decided to stay here. So yeah, the even 90 is over here, so if we made this play, it actually would have been okay, I guess. The problem I have with making that play is that there's red enemies in front of me, and I don't want to leave the Super Hellcat because I know that he's capping at the moment, and they're going to push the cap, so I don't want to be doing nothing by going back here. But this is one play that I thought about, you know, for the time being, right? Was what if I try and make a play like this where I go around and kind of backdoor people? But as it turns out, the FV actually pushes into me from down the bottom, which I didn't really expect. You know, it's kind of an interesting play on his part because I feel like he had a good position being right here on the cap. But what I decided to do is I'm actually going to drop down once I go unlit. I do take more damage than I wanted to there, which, you know, basically will just about decide the end of this game. But it, you know, it is what it is. You do these things, and sometimes this is the way they turn out. I get behind the FV though, and you know, this is kind of the way that I decide to do this, because I feel like the only other way I can deal with this is to be in a crossfire now. If I'm put here, then that means that I need to fight the FV like this, and he can come up to this rock, and now I'm in a crossfire, where if I'm going to be safe, I'm going to have to come like this, and then Aluva is going to have shots on me here. T25 could come up here and have, you know, have shots on me, so this is why I did the things in this way. So I'm going to come up to the FV now, and at this point, the IS-3 is up against the Luva. I think the T-25-2 is still out of the picture for the time being. I need to push the FV. I need to kill this guy because I need this side of the map back. We're down 1100 HP, the Hellcat melted, the IS-3 melted, and now I'm in the situation where it's basically just me against these people. The ISU is still back there, but he's not really doing anything, and I can't entirely blame him because he's not the kind of tank you really want to put in harm's way. But we get 2 shots here on the FV, and now I'm going to focus my last shot. I'm trying to look for it, and I think I actually was in this view when I took it, and there we go. We kill the FV, and now I'm going to kind of try and stay close to this rock. We have 2 on cap. Who do you think it is? I personally think it's the Lova and the Even 90. I don't know if this T25 has moved yet. I feel like the ISU probably would have spotted him, but you never know. So ISU is in the back. Report the bot ISU. The guy says okay. I know he's you know, doing his best back there. He really can't move. I mean, I understand it. He can, but you know, the T25 could catch him out in the open, and then he's in a shootout with the T25, which I would almost prefer at this point because I feel like he could win it, but it is what it is. And here we have Lova. Remember that Lova has very, very good view range. I'm at half HP now. And now this just becomes basically a situation where I have to figure out how to reset the cap. So I'm going to get a somewhat lucky shot there. It just went right where I aimed it into the side plate. And we're able to reset the cap, at least for the time being. It drops it down, you know, a few seconds for us. And now I have some more time. I tell ISU, like, dude, it's getting to the point where I'm going to need you here. Like, I can only do so much. I'm at 3 kills. I'm at 3,600 damage, but that doesn't matter. It's the situation that I'm in. It's in the area that I'm in. I can only do so much from here against a Lova who's basically going to light me if I try and push up. I don't think he has optics, but I put optics on my Lova, and it gives you like well over 445 spotting. I mean, the Lova has insane view range, so that's why this is a problem. I only have some, I don't know, 20-something% concealment on this mod 1, so I know that I can only push in so far. But I get here, and now I have the bush, right? So I can at least sort of make this work, right? I'm spotting him. I'm trying to get, and he even spots me through the bush, unless that's the even. It's possible that's the even spotting me too. So I try and get a shot into his cap here. I could load AG at this point and try and reset, but at this point it's like I know I'm going to push in anyway before the timer ends. So, and it looks like the ISU is pushing in, so I just need to take a shot, right? There's nothing like, at this point you have to start using your HP to get into the center of the cap. There's no other way to go about it, and it's what I have to do. At this point, the Even 90 could easily flank me. I get another shot into the Lova here. I'm trying to push. Luckily, I bounced the Even 90. I'm trying to push up into the cap, and the ISU is behind me here. I'm hoping that he's going to get shots, but unfortunately, I take another shot into the Lova, and I'm like, I need to get into this ditch. I need to somehow use my armor in this situation, and that's what I do. I'm trying to get down into the ditch. I'm trying to basically port these guys. I'm able to get the Even 90 out of the equation there. Luckily, he pokes kind of stupidly. And now we just have the Lova to deal with. So here he is. I'm coming up behind him. The ISU is here. The ISU is a 2-shot, keep in mind. So I'm trying to draw his attention. The ISU doesn't get a shot into him there, which is vital. And now I get a shot into the side of the Lova. It's a low roll, unfortunately, which makes the Lova still a 2-shot. The ISU is still alive. I'm waiting for the ISU to kind of take another shot here. He misses the second shot. Now I can only get 1 into the Lova, and this is the situation. So at this point, I'm just going to say this. I think you already know who's going to win this. The Lova in this situation is 10 times better. 10 times better. Even in the hands of a terrible player, the Lova is usually going to win here. And I'm going to tell you why if you're not sure. The Lova has better armor, better gun depression, and it can side scrape. That's the issue here. When you're in a situation where you have, it even has better gun handling, I would argue. The aiming time is a little higher, but I think the dispersion is much better than the Mod 1. So you're in a situation where you have more armor, You know, you have more gun depression, you have more accuracy, arguably, you have more pen. He has more pen than me. There's just so many factors here that are in his favor that at this point I realize this, and I'm not going to dance around for much longer. What I'm going to do is I'll show you in my view. I'm just going to try and get a lucky shot kind of into his side plate with APCRs, and unfortunately it doesn't work out for me. I'm trying like this, I snap him, and nothing. So that's it. You know, we ended up losing this game, but honestly at this point I wasn't that angry because I felt like I did everything I could. Sure, anybody could watch this video who's a Unicum and say, oh, well, maybe you could have went around the other way, maybe you could have, you know, went up on this hill or something like that. But like in these situations, right, you only think to do so much and you do what you do. Like I could have tried to come up this hill, but I feel like it wasn't safe for me to come down this path, or the Luva would have hit me like this. But then again, look at the ISU. I mean, he bounced 2 shots off the Luva. The first one he probably definitely should have had if he went lower plate. He was close enough, and I feel like the ISU has more than enough pen to handle that. And this guy bounced 2 shots off of him. So in the end, I feel like I did everything I could to get the win here. We did 4,400 damage visible, 4 kills, and that's the best I could do. However, if we didn't take the fall damage coming off the cliff here, I would have had at least one more shot to be able to take, and then I could have won this game. So there's all these things that kind of work into a loss or a win sometimes, and I feel like you can't get caught up on that. Like even when you play a game of football or a game of basketball, you know, I know people that play in the playoffs or like Super Bowl or NBA Finals, and you miss one shot and you go, oh well, if I only made that shot, if I only made that catch. But there's that situation for everyone in every game, right? Like I guarantee you the LT432 missed a shot. You know, our Jackson could have missed a shot. Our KV1S could have missed a shot. And all of that, any one shot or one hit that they took could have factored into this. So you can't look at it that way, you know. I try and do this to make myself feel better about it, but just keep in mind there's 15 players on each team. So let's go ahead and look at the end plates, guys, and I want to get into the next video. This is going to be a really long video, so. But anyway, this was a mastery, guys. 4639 was the total. 4639 again. Lova played a good game. I messaged him after the game. 3,238 damage he had. And we actually made 95K from this game. And yeah, here's the extras. If you guys want to, you know, pause for any of these and take a look, you can. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the next video. And here we go. Let's open up these end plates. And hopefully I didn't spoil it for you, but this is going to be a win. This is going to be a win. So I'm going to spoil it now. But I can't show you guys 2 losses. That would make me feel awful. So we might go 2 times, maybe 4 times in this video. The video is getting pretty long, so we'll try and speed ahead to the good parts. So we'll speed ahead through the first couple minutes of this game to where I get around here. And yeah, this is Westfield. And Westfield is a good map for, you know, most tanks. I like Westfield. I have been blocking Ensk like you wouldn't believe with the couple days of premium that I'm getting. Because Ensk, like I've been getting Ensk so much, man, and I just can't stand that map. But anyway, we're on Westfield, and on this map, what you're going to do as a medium almost every single time, you know, regardless of who's really on the enemy team, is you're going to come up to the K line here, the K0. And JP is pushing here. This is an interesting play for a JP to make, but he's here nonetheless. So I'm going to push up, see if I can get a shot into him. I see the Lancet instead. I'm going to put a shot to the Lancet, get a decent high roll there, I believe. What is the DPM on this thing? It's 250 per shot. not DPM, damage per shot. So I get one shot into him. I'm going to get another one into the lance, and I'm just going to take one from him at this point because I was aggressive in taking that shot, and I want to get back down the hill so I don't get whacked by anything else. And we get one shot into him there. I see that the IS, I might have shots on the IS, so I kind of leave my buddy here temporarily to deal with this, but I do not have shots on the IS, so I'm going to come back and try and help him. I personally don't like poking this either, so what I do is I come all the way back here. I just feel like it's safer for whatever reason. You can kind of stay hidden, maybe up until you take a shot. The problem is the gun depression. That's the biggest issue here. So I'm going to knock down the tree instead, and I'm kind of going to pull up into the tree and take my shot. And Lanson is kind of coming up here. I have a shot at him there. I'm going to take it. Another decent roll, and this guy gets whacked by someone else. I would assume it's maybe one of these guys back here, the Hellcat at the T20. And yeah, we're basically in a shootout here. The E4 is coming up, and this gets pretty good. So I'm going to 2 times it just to get up to here. I'm looking for shots on the E4 here. Lanson is still sitting on the corner, and eventually the Lanson gets cleaned up. I think he tries to retreat or something. Someone gets a shot to him. I know we end up killing him. So trying to get to that. But I don't want to skip ahead too much, guys. I know this is going to be a long video, but I want you to kind of see most of this video. Because you would think this is going to be a stomp, right? I mean, we're up by 3,600 HP, and by now 3 tanks, right? 4 tanks. And yeah, this guy is now dead, and the T54 is going to move up to press into the E4. Now, I also have shots at the Scorpion. I did bounce him, and I was waiting. This is why I like getting up to this hill, because as I'm seeing the T95 push, I know that there's going to be at least one TD in here. There's always a TD that sits in here. So as the E4 pushes out to try and go after the T44, I'm going to cover him. I have shots here. That one bounces. The E4 is not the easiest tank to pen. I know it has weak spots, but from this distance, it's not the easiest thing to do. I'm trying to get a tracking shot into him, maybe. And yeah, my T44 ends up dying, and now I'm in a situation where I have a half HP T2064. I don't want to push into this guy, right? I have both of these tanks, and I can tell you that in a situation where you push into a T26E4, probably not going to end too well for you if you have people back here. I like to think that one-on-one I could probably beat him because I would just run around his side. Because the Super Pershing is very slow in turning and stuff like that. It's almost a heavy tank, the way it operates. It's got very good frontal armor, but the side plates are very weak. And, you know, it's very easy to kind of run around these people. You know, I think I do run like the what the heck is, I always forget the name of this piece of equipment that makes you turn a little faster. It makes your gun and hull traverse a little bit quicker. But I think I might run that on the on my T26E4 just because of how kind of slow it operates, right, in turns. So that's why I'm not pushing into the E4. You know, you could say what you want about it, but I never feel like this is a smart play. And I believe another decision I was making in that was these TDs. Like, I don't know how far these guys are going to push up. So it's not something I wanted to do. Anyway, that's my reasoning for that, and we're staying here. I have good shots. I have to wait for the heavies to kind of make their move. The Hellcat tries to push up, and, you know, he's getting hit by Artie and all that nonsense. So there's just all these reasons I don't want to make this push. I'm going to go back, try and help the T20 with the Eagle 7, but as it turns out, these guys all take care of it themselves after a while. So now I'm going to come back. We're now down 2,000 HP, right? And at this point, I'm thinking, how can I play this? So what I decided to do is I'm going to push in a different manner. I don't like pushing down this hill over here because I feel like you're left wide open all the time. So what you'll see me do in a lot of light tanks, LT432, LTTB, you know, LTG, whatever the heck it is I will come up over this way and get to like this area right here. However, the E4 is still here, and I knew that. He's got good spotting range. He's able to spot me there, but I'm up on the hill now, so I feel like I'm pretty safe from TDs that are up over here and from TDs that might be back here if the, one of these guys moved. So I'm now coming in, and I play it this way. I come to this hill instead. And from here, what you can do is kind of pull up into these bushes, so you have some initial concealment as well. And it looks like someone has graciously knocked down this tree. It was probably the Scorpion when he was camping there. And it gives you even a little bit more cover. So I'm trying to spot these guys. Maybe I can get a shot into the T29. And this is coming down to the wire, guys. We're at 5 minutes. I'm at 1,700 damage, 549 spotting. I have no kills yet, but we're working on that. And now I'm going to start trying to poke up and just see what I can see, because I need to know where these guys are. I'm thinking at this point that the two TDs might be like in here, like the Foch could be like in here or something like that, because the Super Hellcat is running all the way this way. He doesn't spot anyone over in the K1 area. I'm just going to go ahead and take a blind anyway. It doesn't hit anything, but I kind of want to see if I'm spotted, and I'm not. So now I'm thinking that everything is here. I'm thinking, the E75 is definitely still lurking up in this area. He might be pushing down like this towards Artie or something like that. The T29 is still here, obviously, and I think these two TDs, maybe one is still sitting here, maybe one is in here or something like that, but I don't think they're down here. So now I'm putting all this together, and I'm thinking how I can do this safely. And really, you can't push into this. I can try and get here maybe. That was another, option of mine, but I'm thinking, and I'm like, there's 4 minutes left. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want to do in this situation. And then as I'm thinking in my head what I want to do, the Foch appears from basically that very area where I would have been pushing into. I was going to push here, and then I was going to push eventually into here to try and get closer and closer to spot while staying, relatively safe using the terrain. And yeah, I ended up blocking the TS5, but I was pretty sure the Foch was on reload, and I wasn't looking behind me, so I apologized to him, and I focused my shot and made sure that I made it count because I had blocked his, which could have went in, right? So Artie is still over here. I'm not going to push into the Artie right away because it's just not what you do when there's all these other tanks in the playing field, right? So what I want to do is now take care of this T29. This is the next step in winning this game, is taking care of the T29. So I'm going to get one shot into this guy. He's now lit. I know that there's a TD behind me, so I need to focus this guy down immediately. I do that, and now I'm going to turn and I'm going to go. The E75 is on cap. I know it because this guy was just spotted recently, so I'm pretty certain that it's the E75 on cap. That's the kind of the what I did in my head real quick. And here we go. We have the SU-122. I know this guy can likely get a shot into me here, so I'm trying to like wiggle around, but I don't know if he has the gun depression once I get down the hill. So I'm going to take my shot quick, and I'm going to move. The problem with this now becomes the E75 will have shots at me. So I'm trying to, in whatever way I can, keep my what's it called, render range off of the cap. Actually, it's over here. So I wasn't even looking at, I think I was looking at this at the time or something like that. My render range is still on the cap. So at this point, what I need to do is, I could have sworn I was looking at this. So I might have actually been looking at this wrong when I was playing. I was looking at the wrong base on the map. But my TS5 is going to cap out in any case. So I know that. And now we have the SU-100 here, or the SU-122. This is going to become a problem because in order to reset the cap rate, I need to be like here. I want to be like right here. I mean, you could try and do it from here, but I'd rather do it from this side. And now what I need to start doing is use these columns to keep myself safe from the E75. Unfortunately, I don't even know where he is. So now I get shot from him. And luckily, the T54 Mod 1 has decent armor where it can kind of bounce shots like this. Unfortunately, I bounced the SU-122 here, and now I'm going to have to take a shot from the E75. This guy rams me. I'm kind of trying to stay behind this pillar. Now he gets a clean shot at me. At this point, I know by the time that he reloads, I will be dark. So I'm going to take this shot at him here, and I'm going to keep moving. I don't know if this guy would have respotted me again either. I'm not sure. I think the E75 has decent view range, but I don't know. So at this point, I know I need to reset the cap, and I do it successfully, right? And now we have TS5 on the cap and the E75 on our cap. The times are 2 seconds apart, and I'm pretty sure that this is still a draw. I think that if it's within like 3 or 4 seconds, then it ends up becoming a draw. I don't like that. I think if you have less time, actually, I'm looking at it the wrong way, right? We're actually ahead by, or he's ahead by 2 seconds. So in this case, it would be a draw for us. If I get a reset one more time, it will be a win for us. So I'd like to get one more reset. I'm going to poke like this. I'm able to get the shot into the lower plate. He probably thought I was coming this way, and I get the shot into him first. He hits me there. Even if he killed me, it wouldn't have mattered because I'm able to get the reset. And that's pretty much the game, guys. I mean, from here, it doesn't really matter if this guy kills me or not, because, you know, I know that he can't get back to his cap in time. So hopefully you followed me with everything here. I end up playing Ring Around the Rosie with this E75, and I had both my roommates actually in here. We were having a conversation about something, and, you know, you would think I'd be a little distracted while playing this, but not at all. The E75 makes a big mistake, and he pokes. I'm able to get one into him. He misses. I come around to his side. I kill him, and that's the game. 3,577 damage, 549 assists, and 4 kills, guys. And yeah, so I'm sure I also made a few mistakes in this one as well, but I try and play this tank to the best of my ability, and, you know, do everything I can to come out with the win. So there's 2 masteries for you guys. We will take a look at the end plates. We're at, you know, half an hour on this video, but you guys know that you can skip around on YouTube, so this doesn't really concern me. Here we go. This is a mastery, and 3577 again, 695, and you guys again can pause if you want to see anything specific. Here's the team score and our final detailed report. We made 53K, and that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed these 2 masteries in the mod 1. Again, if you're having bad games, don't get discouraged. This game is horrendous nowadays. You know, the matchmaking is just unbelievable, and you know, it's just the state of World of Tanks. The games are very, very fast, but please don't get discouraged if you have bad games. I'm just showing you the 2 best games that I've had in this tank over like 50 or 60 battles that I've played in it, because the majority of them have just been average at best. Take care of yourself, guys. I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.